Houston Astros 2-1 in what is considered a one-game series. So kind of unfortunate in terms of, the record keeping of it, where the Yankees, I guess technically this is considered getting swept, a one-gamer. The Yankees have had some weird series losses. One to Baltimore, one where they lost both games of a doubleheader to the White Sox, and now this game to the Astros. But it's not so much about that. And I debated whether I wanted to do, an episode for this, but I thought it was worth it, especially because it's the Astros, that being the main reason. And the Yankees' bats have been extremely, extremely non-existent in these 5 Astro games. So the Yankees will have a doubleheader against Houston at Minute Maid after the All-Star break. And look, as far as I'm concerned, in terms of what you want to consider a series win or not, do I see the Yankees winning both of those games? Probably not. A split's the most likely outcome, but I don't see them winning both. So ultimately, this would be a series loss. But again, that's getting into semantics. But the Yankees have not had a lead at any point in these 5 games other than when they won the games. The first game with the Judge walk-off hit down the left field line, and then the Judge walk-off homer on that Sunday game. They had not led in any part of the game. And the Yankees had 5 hits in this one. Astros only had 3, but the Yankees with 5 hits. And it is very apparent that the Astros, as they've been in years past, they knocked the Yanks out in 2015. They knocked the Yanks out in 2017. They knocked the Yanks out in 2019. And, we can question the legitimacy, but the facts are is that the Astros, that's the team that you're going to have to get past. Not to take anyone else lightly, but we've seen the Yankees have performed well against the Blue Jays. They performed well against the Rays. We haven't seen a whole lot of the Red Sox, so let's, hold off on that, assessment for now. But the only team the Yankees have a losing record against this season is the Astros. They're 2-3 against them. They have a winning record against everyone else. Not even 500. I believe a winning record versus every other team they've faced so far this year. And look, there are still 2 games against the Astros, but like I said, in a doubleheader situation, look, could they win both? It wouldn't be out of the realm of complete possibility, but if I had to put money on it, you're probably at best sweeping that. So that's, you're looking at a 3-4, 2-5 record versus the Astros. And I know, that's getting a bit presumptuous in a negative sense, but I just think that the Yankees have had trouble hitting the Astro pitching. And Luis Garcia pitched very well for the Astros tonight. And the Yankees, Ryan Stanek, they almost got to him. But Hector Neris, Rafael Montero, and Ryan Presley, they could not do anything against. Really, 7th, 8th, and 9th inning, there was essentially nothing going on there. And so just very disappointing. This was a game in which I was hopeful that Joey Gallo would not be in the lineup. He actually walked, which is better than a lot of the others, but Gallo, it's just a disaster. And it's not fair to just point. I mean, we know he's a loser. I'm sorry. I know that's a harsh word, but that's just, as a Yankee, complete bum. Complete bum. There's no other way to put it. I mean, the guy is batting 165 with a 606 OPS. It's just not, he's not a major league player as a New York Yankee. Just not. But it's hopeful that maybe they would not go with Gallo. Not that I'm a big Aaron Hicks fan. For me, honestly, I wish Marlon Gonzalez was in this game. But that's more to the point. I want to see the Yankees make acquisitions at the trade deadline. I want them to get 1 or 2 bats. Look, could you always use as much starting pitching and pitching in general as possible? Yes. Do I expect the Yankees to probably make a pitching acquisition? Yes. But to me, the biggest key is improving the lineup. And I know in some ways that sounds a little bit crazy because the Yankees, offensively, I think they do have the most runs in baseball or close to it if they don't, but I think they do. The offensive stats are pretty good on the whole, but they faced all 5 starters against the Astros. They really didn't get to any of them. Let's just be honest. They did not get to any of them. So I want this to be seen by the front office as reason to improve. So Gallo, we know, is a lost cause, but improve upon Hicks. Improve upon maybe Josh Donaldson. I'm just saying. So I want to acquire one or two impactful bats. Look, I think Matt Carpenter's a very nice bench piece. I think Marlon Gonzalez is a very nice bench piece, but ideally those are not going to be guys that you're going to want to start. Would I like them more than Gallo and maybe even Hicks, maybe even Donaldson on certain occasions, maybe even Kiner Falefa on certain occasions? Yes, I would, but more to the point is, I hope that Cashman, he has it's a month until the deadline. Make some moves. You have a very good team, but if you want to win the championship, you have to get by this Astro team, and that's not going to be easy. The Yankees are 56-21. The Astros are 48-27. Do I like the Yankees' chances of finishing first and having home field in a match versus the Astros? Yes. With that being said, the Yankees are only up 6 on the loss side, and they still have 2 more games at Houston. So it's not as if that's locked up. So I really hope that the Yankees improve. It doesn't matter that the record is this good. It needs to be spoken about that the Astros are going to be a tough out. Their pitching is very, very good. Top down. Rotation, bullpen, they can match the Yankees pitching. And they have hitters who have been there before. Here's the disappointment in tonight's game. No Michael Brantley. No Yordan Alvarez. No Pena. So the Astros didn't even have anywhere close to a fully loaded lineup, and you still lost. And I know the Astros only had 3 hits. Severino, it was a good outing. He got into trouble in the 3rd inning, and it cost him. Would I have liked Garrett Cole to pitch this game? I would have, but that's not the point. That's not fair. You only got 1 run. So this is not so much a Severino thing. Look, 6 innings, 2 runs. You kind of take that. You do. And Marinaccio pitches a good 7th inning. Albert Abreu pitches a good 8th. I still like the Yankee pitching as a whole. When Chapman comes back, I'm a little bit concerned, but this is, definitely something that is worth speaking about, because I think that the Yankees need to show they can get past the Astros. They have not shown that yet. They simply have not shown that yet. Do I think that home field would help? I do. Even though they split at Yankee Stadium, I do think that home field, especially in a 2-3-2 format, if you can get it back to Game 6, whether you're up 3-2 or down 3-2, it certainly gives you a good chance to advance. The Yankees had not had home field in 2017 or in 2019 versus the Astros, and it cost them, especially in 17. But as far as this game was concerned, not a whole lot to get into play-by-play wise. There were specific moments that were key. You look to and this is a rough night for Aaron Judge, and you don't say that too often, but I didn't love Aaron Judge's night at the plate. I was hoping for a little bit more from him. Really, the top of the 3rd, the Yankees had one of their better chances. 1 out, Gallo walk, and then LeMahieu singles, and then Judge flies out, and Rizzo strikes out. And so that was a chance right there. Bottom of the 3rd, Jake Myers gets leadoff double, but then Severino almost gets out of it. Maldonado lines out. Altuve lines out. Here was the key. He walks Aledmys Diaz. You can't do that. With Tucker and Bregman coming up, that's where things went wrong. So Severino, who I think it's been a good season for him, the walks have been a little bit of an issue for Severino, I would say. He has good stuff. It's not as if he's been beaten around too much, but the walks have been a little bit of a problem, I guess, as compared to the other guys in the rotation. Tyone has good control. Montgomery has good control. Cortez has good control. Cole usually does, but he did have, obviously, that really, really bad outing where he walked everyone against the Tigers. But after the Diaz walk, Severino walks Kyle Tucker, and there's a short memory there. Tucker had that key 3-run homer off of Severino last Friday night, and so that had to have been on his mind. And so it's bases loaded, 2 out, and the big hit of the game was an Alex Bregman 2-run double. He's lucky it wasn't a grand slam. It's off the top of the left field wall, gives the Astros 2-0 lead, and it could have been worse, but luckily, Severino was having a problem with the pitch com thing, and Kyle Tucker tried to be sneaky and steal home, but Severino was able to see what was going on, threw it to Trevino, and Trevino makes a nice tag, and Tucker's out at the plate. So it stays 2-0 right at that point. And Luis Garcia is continuing to kind of do his thing. In the 6th inning, though, he runs into some trouble. It's a home run, the 21st of the season for Anthony Rizzo, and just Rizzo, it's been really good. Anthony Rizzo, the batting average isn't great, but Rizzo continues to contribute. 21 home runs is really good, and he might find his way into the All-Star game. Certainly possible. That knocks Garcia out of the game, and this is where the Yankees had a chance. And this is where the ump was awful. The home plate ump was terrible. Giancarlo Stanton singles off the static. And then Josh Donaldson, who we'll talk about. Donaldson, I don't like how he's overall, even though the Oakland series was better for Donaldson, it's been underwhelming. And people are starting to talk about it a little bit now, but they should have been talking about it maybe a little bit earlier. But Gallo and Hicks was the big talking point. But Donaldson strikes out looking, but this was not his fault. 2 pitches that were clearly outside. This could have been a walk, and then Gleyber walks. So this could have been bases loaded, 1 out. Instead, it ends up being first and second, 2 out, and Trevino grounds out. A big moment. Trevino grounds out. Severino pitches 6 innings. In the 7th, Hector Neris puts the Yanks down 1-2-3. IKF, Gallo, LeMahieu. Marinaccio comes on, and after leadoff walk, just does a really good job. He gets a strikeout, and then Dubon grounds out. Really nice play by Connor Falefa. Gurriel moves to second, and then Marinaccio strikes out Myers. So Marinaccio proving he is definitely a major league pitcher, and some. 8th inning, Rafael Montero gives up. It's a Judge ground out, and again, didn't love Judge's night. Rizzo ground out. Stanton with a 2-out single, so 2 hits for Giancarlo. They pinch run Aaron Hicks. To no avail, Josh Donaldson strikes out. A really bad at-bat. I feel like Donaldson has been way too aggressive. Like, he always swings at the first pitch, and sometimes that's good, but it's just not working for him. Way too many swings and misses for Donaldson, and that wasn't part of his game. Like, it'd be easy to think that it is. If you didn't know Josh Donaldson, you'd think, oh, well, he used to be a power hitter. He must be a strikeout guy. He wasn't until he became a Yankee. So it's been a disappointing first half of the year for Josh Donaldson. He really needs to turn around in the second half. He really does. Or he could be at risk to being on the bench. He just could be. You never know. Albert Abreu comes on, pitches a really nice 8th inning. It's a 1-2-3. Again, Abreu as a Yankee. It's just different than as he was as a Texas Ranger and Kansas City Royal. Then Ryan Presley comes on. Gleyber lines out. Trevino strikes out, and it was a bad at-bat for Trevino. A little too aggressive. And then they pinch hit Carpenter for Connor Falefa. And I understand it because you're looking for a home run in that situation, but it sucks that Gallo would have been on deck. That bothers me. Like, Gallo should not be batting. I don't care what the circumstance is. And he would have. Like, I would have rather pinch hit Marlon. If it ever got to him, I would have pinch hit Marlon Gonzalez for Gallo. But they pinch hit Carpenter, and he strikes out. And so the Yankees go down very weakly. A pretty feeble effort by the Yankees offense. And that's what I look at, is the Yankee lineup just does not get it done. They have not gotten it done in these 5 Astro games, and that's where they need to improve things. It's internal, but it's also the Yankees need to make trade deadline acquisitions to completely shore up this lineup. You have a team that is definitely championship caliber, but if you keep it like this, you could easily lose to the Astros. I'm just going to say that. You could easily lose to this team, and it would not surprise me. So that needs to be, I hope that this was in some ways, if it showed the front office that moves need to be made, and maybe they would have done it anyway, but if it showed it, then it was worth it. This can be good and I think Cashman will be aggressive. I think they know that their time could be here to get something done. This is a special team, but with the Astros, it's pretty evenly matched. And you need to do everything you can to get over that hump. So again, Yankees lose 2-1 to the Astros. It's considered a series loss. Kind of crazy how a 1-game situation is considered a series, but here we are. And so now the Yankees will head to Cleveland in what should be a pretty interesting 3-game set. The Yankees swept the Guardians at Yankee Stadium earlier in the year. It'll be Garrett Cole versus Aaron Savale. That should be advantage Yanks. Game 2 will be Nestor Cortez versus Tristan McKenzie, and that should be an interesting matchup. And then Game 3 will be Jordan Montgomery versus Zach Plesac. So not going to be an easy series for me. Hoping the Yankees can take 2 out of 3. Definitely not expecting to sweep against an Indian team that's battling it out in the AL Central, specifically with the Twins. Cleveland's 39-34. And I'm sure Cleveland will want a piece of the Yankees after what was a tough sweep at Yankee Stadium earlier in the year. So it should be an interesting series. Again, we'll be very happy if the Yankees can just take 2 out of 3, and hopefully Garrett Cole can get them off on the right start after what was a tough loss to Houston Astros.